Alhamdulillah, if you're just joining us, it's now time for our Parenting 101, talking about setting boundaries with our children. And today with me in the studio, I have the very beautiful Mariam Tauban. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lubna. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, can you briefly just tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay, I am Mariam Tauban. I am a mother and I run a children foundation,
Okay.
Noble Heart Children Foundation. And I'm an entrepreneur and I'm also a student.
Wow,
In
did you hear
brief.
that?
Yes.
MashaAllah. So today we're talking about setting boundaries with our children. I mean, you know, our kids, they know how to push our limits. It's like
course.
they are born knowing how to do so.
Yes.
So just briefly tell us, what does it even mean to set boundaries with our kids?
Okay, boundaries simply means, knowing a limit. Your children should not go beyond, they shouldn't cross the
Yeah.
limit. Islamically, the Prophet ﷺ, there's a hadith where he was mentioned to have said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us not to go beyond boundaries. That is, there are boundaries that we should not cross, even
yeah.
as adults. So for children, a parent should know that there are these things I cannot allow my children to do, or
Yeah.
I shouldn't. Due to, it could be
Is it like
moral
certain
reasons.
rules and regulations
Rules
that
and
you have to
regulations,
follow?
yes. But then, when it comes to boundaries, even sometimes, you can let them break some rules and
Yeah.
everything like that. But then there is just a limit
To it.
they should not go beyond. So sometimes it gets manifested in different ways. That is, you can just say, okay, you get to sleep at this time. So regardless
There's a
of whatever
bedtime,
they're doing
you
from
have to
work,
follow homework.
watching of the cartoons or whatever, but then you should not go beyond this time. That is, you have to sleep at so time. So there is that boundary where you have to just set it as a parent, because it is important. Without boundaries, there would be chaos and there would
Yeah,
be,
of course.
a lot of other
Kids
things
would
that
just be
creep in.
misbehaving up and
Yes,
down.
exactly.
But then again, how do you know how kids are? How do parents, stick with those boundaries? Because, sometimes you set boundaries and
Yes.
stuff, but then your kids, sometimes they push you to the limit and, you just give up very easily.
Yeah.
What would you say to parents? Like, how should they, stick with their boundaries and just, be consistent instead of, breaking down like, oh, I'm done, this kid,
Well, parenting is not all about having to, strictly follow a particular rules already. Especially these days, when we were growing up, our
Yeah.
parents had lots of boundaries for us, and we dare not cross them.
Yeah.
Even with a look, with a glance alone, we understand that we are meant to leave so areas.
Yeah.
But these days, we tend to give our children a
We are
lot
a bit
of
softer compared to
so
our parents.
we are a lot more softer than our
Yeah.
parents were, and so we should not beat ourselves up when we find out that our children are doing stuff we do not want them to do, or that we've warned them against, or they're going beyond the boundaries. But the most important thing is that we ensure that they do not keep crossing it, because the children are fond of doing one thing. They would keep testing you with new behaviors, so that they would
Just
know
to
whether
see if you're okay with it, then they carry on,
and then they carry on with it. So as soon as you see that, okay, he has done this the first time, second time, could be lying, could be just, and the thing is, parents also have to know this. Children pick whatever it is we do. So once you find out that that's boundary you set, that's
being
limit
crossed.
Yes, you look at yourself too. Are you telling the child what you are doing? Are you telling him or her not to do that thing? So you have to be sure that even you are following the
exactly.
So
Yeah.
once you set rules and regulations,
You have to
there should be
follow as
rules
well.
for the parent and for the mother, for the father, then
Yeah.
for the children. So once you're doing that, they would naturally follow. Yes.
So okay, now talking about when they cross these boundaries, what are the punishments? What is harsh punishment, and what kind of punishment should you give your kids? Basically, when they cross your boundaries, the boundaries you are setting.
Well, let me use a personal experience, for instance. I do not get to punish my kids the way I was being punished when I was when I was little. I give them a lot of like free hands. They get to do whatever it is they want. But then once I change my tone and everything, they know that okay, this woman is serious.
Yeah.
So when it comes to punishment, well, I am not a fan of beating kids. I get to beat my kids, like
Yeah.
I lash them when I have to, but not really. Like I do not get to do
sometimes
that
you
like
just have
regularly.
to-
But a lot of the time, you
Yeah.
just have to let them know whether you punish them with they're not going to have the chocolate, they're not going to have some
Time
snack.
out and chores,
exactly.
maybe.
They don't get to watch their favorite.
The little freedom they have, you take it away.
Exactly. And when push comes to shove, if you can, because I'm a typical African
Yeah,
mother,
I know,
so if
you
you
have
can,
to.
you ask them to kneel down and raise it.
all those-
At some point, my little boy knows that once he does something, he will just go and kneel down and raise up his hands. without
Already,
me
before you
saying-
even tell him.
Exactly. So you just have to let them know
Perfect.
that if you cross this
So I
boundary,
think we have-
there are
we
some
already have our
you have to
tips
be lenient,
right
and then there's some you just have to be harsh.
Thank you so much. I mean, I've
you.
learned a lot from you. I'm a mother too, but I've picked a few things. Thank you so much for being with us. Well, there you have it.
Alhamdulillah.
It has been our Parenting 101, and thank you. Stick around. We're still around. It's Salam Ummah, so don't go anywhere.